What's up, everyone? It's Q from Retro Q Gaming, and this kind of boggles my mind a little bit. Now, yeah, I'm sure you've guessed it by the name of this video, but a lot of people out there, they've considered this for a while, usually through various different products from Nintendo and different stages of the console generation life cycles. But it's become especially prevalent again because of the NES Mini or the NES Classic or whatever you want to call it. But a lot of people seem to think that Nintendo are artificially creating a demand for these. Now, what I mean by that is they're artificially, well, not artificially, but they're specifically intentionally not creating enough units. They're specifically shorthanding everyone to drum up this extra demand. Now, when you see people when you see scalpers and resellers selling all this through Amazon, like third party sellers on Amazon or eBay or wherever the hell have you, Nintendo doesn't see any of that profit. So if someone is selling it on there for $400 or €400 or whatever, Nintendo doesn't see that. Nintendo don't see an extra penny of that. They see the same amount as every other unit that was originally sold to whatever manufacturer or not manufacturer, but whatever wholesaler or whatever business, whatever corporation. They see the same kind of rate that they'd get from that. So let's just say, like, the recommended retail price on this here in Europe is €60. So let's just, for argument's sake, say Nintendo sell it to a wholesaler for half that price. So Nintendo sell it to someone for €30. Okay? So Nintendo will see that €30 regardless of whatever company or whatever person, scalper, reseller, whatever they decide to resell it at. It could be a business selling it at €100. It could be a scalper that bought it at €100 and is trying to resell it for €500. Nintendo still only sees that original 30. So, it just take that into consideration. Now, there are a couple of people out there as well that think there are shady dealings going on, like backhanded, back alley, under the table dealings. It's like, well, hey, Company X, like Company X will go to Nintendo and be like, hey, Nintendo, we'll, let's, well, why not just give us a lot of these and we'll resell them for a lot higher. Maybe we'll even buy them higher for you. I think that's a load of bullshit. I don't think that's the case at all. And this isn't the first time, as I've said, this isn't the first time that people have accused Nintendo of purposely, artificially creating demand and artificially understocking everything to drum up hype and all for this. So a couple of additions spring to mind as well. You've got the Nintendo GameCube adapter for the Wii U, because obviously Smash players want to play Smash with the GameCube controller, arguably the best controller to use for Smash Brothers, so people wanted to use it. So because it's only compatible with one game, and not everyone buying Smash. Now, first off, let me backtrack a couple of seconds here. A lot of people accuse Nintendo of intentionally producing a very limited amount of those, specifically so that they would be in high demand and sell for a lot higher, which again, Nintendo doesn't see any additional money for. Now, the reason why I think in that particular case that it's bullshit is, in the case of Smash Brothers, not everyone, let's go with this one. Not everyone is going to want to use a GameCube controller for it. Not everyone buying Smash Bros. Wii U is the hardcore, diehard Smash fan that have been around for since the N64. So that's not everyone. In fact, I'd argue that the majority of Smash users on the Wii U probably don't use the GameCube controller. Let me rephrase that, because most people will say, "Oh, well, yeah, of course they don't use it. They can't get their hands on an adapter." Most people probably don't use it because they don't care and don't want to use it. They just want to use their Pro controller, or they want to use their Wii U tablet thingy gamepad. That's it. Couldn't remember the name of it for a second. I was going to say the Wii Touch controller, and that's not right. So yeah, I mean, the market of people that would have wanted these particular units is a very small portion of the player base. Now, don't get me wrong, I have one. I wanted to use the GameCube controller with it, so naturally I made sure I went out and got one. So I am one of those people, But these people are the vocal minority. It's the same with many other aspects, many other, not just Nintendo or, games and fans and whatever. Everyone has a vocal minority. It's that simple, vocal minority. It's that easy. And they're obviously the loudest because you've got maybe 95% of a fan base or user base or install base, whatever, who either don't care or are perfectly happy with what they have and don't have to say anything. Whereas these other couple of percent of people will be very loud, very vocal. Anytime you go anywhere and see anything, it's these people. So that's in the case of Smash Brothers, at least, or in the not Smash, I should say, in the case of the Wii U GameCube adapter. Now, at the same time, there's also Amiibo. Okay, so if you ask me personally, when you look back at the Wii U GameCube adapter, sure, it seemed to be a little understocked. I think Nintendo underestimated the demand for it. I don't think they should have increased production 500-fold like everyone suggested. But I think that Nintendo in that case literally just underestimated their demand. I don't think it was done on purpose because, as far as I know, they never re-released second issues of them and all that stuff as well. Like, I don't think they made another production line. I could be wrong on that one. I've never seen anything to say that they have. But the whole purpose is that even if people have bought those and resold them and all that crap, Nintendo don't see anything extra for it. So in the long run, if Nintendo never did produce any more, it's of no benefit to them, So Nintendo aren't making any more of it. So I've said enough about that one particular thing. So we move on to the next one. And this one I know I've seen a lot of firsthand from my time when they were still current working in GameStop. Amiibo. Now we all know, fair enough, I wasn't working there when Amiibo originally launched for Smash Wii U actually, but we all know that a couple of series or a couple of individual characters in certain series have a lot higher rarity of the Amiibo than some of the other ones. I mean, you're looking at the likes of Sonic, Pac-Man, Wii Fit Trainer. There's a couple more in there. Mega Man. There's a bunch more in there too, but they're some of the more, the more what would you call it? The more high-profile ones that have issues like that, stock issues. Now, again, I think because at the time there was very little compatibility for these. The Wii U was obviously struggling. It's been struggling its entire time. And sure, they've added more compatibility afterwards. But at that point, it was like, hey, we're gonna try sell you these little toys that you may or may not be able to use in your games down the line, even if you're not buying Smash. And, you can argue there's resellers. You can argue collectors in the case of Amiibo. You can argue that collectors hurt the actual available stock as well. So, because of all that, Nintendo did eventually say, hey, we realize that people want these and people are reselling them for a shitload of extra money. We didn't anticipate this. Let's reissue a bunch of them. So I remember Fox for a while, Fox McCloud. He was pretty rare for a good while, and then they just reflooded the market with all them. There was Ganon had Ganondorf, I should say, just because people will go mad at the exact specifics. But Ganondorf was another one. There was a bunch of others too, and then obviously there's the DLC ones and all that as well. But again, I think Nintendo didn't do it on purpose, because don't forget, Nintendo don't see any more of this, any extra of this stuff. I don't think there's any behind the, backdoor dealings or anything going on like some other people do think. But at the same time, I just think Nintendo underestimated them, especially in the case of Amiibo, because it's a very hard sell. I mean, you can't make something just for the collector market. For the simple reason is, it'll either go extremely well or it will go extremely poorly. Nintendo are a business. They want to make money. They obviously don't want to take that kind of risk. And it's, like I said, it's a hard sell trying to say, hey, here's, I think the the Smash series launched with like 40 amiibo or so, and it was the only game that supported them at the time. So it was like, hey, here's a bunch of tiny little characters that are €16 a pop, and you may not be buying Smash, but they may work in your other games down the line. They may add small inconsequential features, so why not buy and collect loads of these instead? And of course, at that point, the kids already have more interactive stuff like Smash, or not Smash Bros. That was my example I was using. They have more like Skylanders and Disney Infinity and all the likes of that stuff. So it was a very hard sell. Nintendo obviously realized that a little bit down the line after they'd seen the first couple of waves of sales and all that, and they started producing them in adequate amounts. They started reissuing old ones as well, just because they knew it was needed. And I think that's what Nintendo do. I think, sure, they might underestimate stuff. I don't think they do it on purpose. Like, I don't think they artificially restrict the availability on purpose. But I do think that they just underestimate some things. Now, I know when you look at the NES Mini, NES Classic, whatever you want to call it, in the run-up to that, the hype was huge. The hype was huge for that. And I don't think Nintendo anticipated the massive amount of hype for that. And because of that, you have people selling them for €500 on eBay. You've got people selling them for $4,000 on eBay. You've got people reselling them for several €100 on Amazon and the likes. So again, Nintendo doesn't see anything extra for that. Nintendo are a business. I know part of the business is marketing and all that as well. So, you're drumming up hype for a product that's not available and you want people to get it. But let's be real for a second, okay? Nintendo released the NES Mini in November, okay? They launched it about almost 2 weeks ago, and it would have been a perfect Christmas item. Now, because of that, okay, we all know Nintendo have said that there's going to be a steady flow of influx of them all coming through till December and the new year. At the same time, why would, let's just say they released 1 million of them worldwide, okay? Why release 1 million of them at launch and then, 50,000 every week? Because they choose, I'm using air quotes here, because they choose to do that to keep the hype going. Okay, so that could potentially be, whatever amount of sales. Or why not just release them all at once so you make all your money then and there? It's Christmas. I mean, that's the perfect time for people to buy all these. If you're buying it for family or friend or whatever, as a present. If you're buying it for someone that might be, hey, look, they they don't really play games anymore, but I remember they used to use a NES back in the day. I think I'll get them this kind of thing. But now that's prohibitively expensive, and a lot of people can be turned off, even potentially hoping to get one of these. For the simple reason is they probably think it's going to happen again with the next wave and the next wave and the next wave. And then Christmas will be gone. Most people won't care as much. So I don't think Nintendo are intentionally underproducing these. I think they're doing it because they're underestimating demand, or maybe for all we know that this is all they could literally produce. Now, I don't think that's the case either. I don't think they could only produce this amount from when they decided to actually make the unit versus when they needed to have it ready to be shipped out. I don't think that's the case. I think Nintendo are just looking at the market and just saying, I think we need X amount of product for this. And they underestimated the demand, and we've seen what happened because of it. So I don't think they're doing it intentionally. I think Nintendo, or just companies in general, I don't think do that kind of stuff because at the end of the day, they want to make money. And I think the whole speculative, long drawn out, hyped up market isn't how they want to make their money. They want to sell as many units as possible, as quick as possible. That's how I personally think. Especially when it comes to the NES Classic, it's such a high quality product. It's such a great value product as well. Trust me, I have one. I've been playing it like a madman. And because of all that, Nintendo don't need to do all these crappy, underhanded tactics that people are accusing them of. I'm not a Nintendo apologist, by the way. I'm sure you've known that for many of these videos. I have called out Nintendo on some of the bullshit they've done. I'm not a fan of everything Nintendo has done. I do like Nintendo and a lot of the stuff they have done, but I'm not gonna, not say something when stuff like this happens. So I'm gonna end it there anyway. Long TLDR, too long don't read. I don't think Nintendo was doing this on purpose. I think Nintendo were just underestimating demand, and that will even out and see it goes on there, because they're a business and I think they want to make as much money as possible, as quick as possible, rather than the drawn out long con. So we'll see how it goes anyway. What do you think anyway? Do you think Nintendo are doing this underhandedly, intentionally? Do you think there's underhanded shady dealings going on between Nintendo and other, I won't call them manufacturers, but other distributors and all that as well for that kind of bullshit? I don't think so. You let me know all that anyway in the comment section below. If you have other examples, we've used Amiibo, we've used the NES Classic, we've used the GameCube adapter for the Wii U. If you've any other perfect examples that I couldn't think of or forgot to mention, let me know as well. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. You can follow me on Twitter, details in the description below. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the rest of the videos in my channel.